All right. So I just made another video about wanting to enjoy the size of my phone, something that is small, compact, easy to hold. And what you're looking at on the screen are two phones that are not that. So completely contrary to everything I was saying before. Sometimes it's just nice to have a bigger phone. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. Do these types of recordings, but even then, it's kind of nice just holding this smaller S22 in my hand as opposed to the S22 Plus. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I owned an S22 Plus for a little while. I ended up selling it because I really just wasn't using it. Also, I'm just not a huge fan of Samsung stuff. I'll be honest. I don't like, what is it, One UI? I don't like the skin that they put on top of Android. And maybe that's just it. I mean, of course, I could put another skin on there or use a different launcher, excuse me. But something about it, I'm just like, mm, I'm going to pass. So I'm still using this Galaxy for now. It's currently on eBay. If somebody bites, great. I just saw that I can trade it in at Best Buy for $295, which yeah, is not a lot. But then I also only paid $400 for it, so to lose $100 and some change might not be too bad. And of course, you don't get cash; you just get a gift card. But I'd find a way to use the gift card at Best Buy. I'm quite certain. So we'll see. Obviously, if nobody's buying it on eBay, then yeah, it's better to just go ahead and trade it in and get something for it as opposed to continue to allow the phone to just get older. So I don't know. But on the left side is the Google Pixel 6. And you might recall that I had a Google Pixel 6a and I used it for about a day or so, but I bought it kind of with the intention of giving it to my dad. So I did. I'll give him a call later today or tomorrow to see if he's actually had an opportunity to put a SIM card in it and try to use it himself. But one thing I know that he too was not a huge fan of is the fact that these phones continue to get bigger. So I had some misgivings about sending it up to him. I would have sent this Samsung up, but unfortunately, it's currently locked to T-Mobile, and I didn't feel like going through the process right now of getting it unlocked because he's an AT&T customer. But I sent him a 6A, so I thought it was an okay phone, and I really thought that it was the, I guess the dimensions were off. If it was that tall, I feel like it should have been a little wider, but since it wasn't, I felt like then it should have been a little shorter. So it was just kind of in this middle ground for me that I said, I um, I don't like this. Yeah. So I ended up ordering a Pixel 6 today. It'll probably arrive in the mail sometime next week. I mean, yeah, today's Saturday, so it definitely won't get here tomorrow. And then Monday is a holiday. So the guy even reached out to me on eBay and let me know, hey, he's out with his family right now. He'll get it in the mail on Tuesday. So yeah, Friday at the earliest, I can imagine. But I never really did a side by side comparison of the Pixel 6 really with anything else because prior to yesterday, when I added the Pixel 6 to my watch list, I don't really think I'd considered it. I used or played around with it on display at Best Buy, but um, it's hard to really get a good feel of the phone when you have all that security stuff on it. So you're like, oh, I kind of want to hold this, but I can't because my hand can't fit all the way around the back. I don't want to do too much because I don't want that alarm going off in here. So I'm just going to be real delicate with this phone and then say, okay, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. Now, I will say I paid I think 285. So we're talking less than 50% of what the retail price was, which was 599. So, and I think it was on sale right for some of the time. I think it was on sale for 499. I don't know if I'd ever seen it for less than 499 brand new. So I was confident and comfortable with the amount that I paid for it. I do know that the Pixel 7 is right around the corner. I mean, time is really flying, and I really am, I guess, losing track of time. I'm like, oh crap, yes, it feels like the Pixel 6 is new, but it's really about a year old now. So, man, I guess I should have taken that into consideration because, maybe I'll want a Pixel 7, but there'll be trade in deals if I want. And of course, just like with the 6A's release and even with the Pixel 6's release, people will buy them and immediately put them on eBay. And I will say that the Pixel is not something that you flip. Okay, you get it, you probably find out that you don't like it, and you sell it on eBay for a loss. Or you might have gotten some type of promotional deal, and so then you do get it, and then you might attempt to flip it. But I'm sure a lot of people will look and say, "Well, wait a minute, this phone is readily available for me to purchase brand new. It's not like there's a shortage of them, so why would I pay anything remotely close to full price for it because it is not a high commodity or hot commodity or whatever?" So So yeah, we'll see what happens with Pixel 7 a launch. But for the time being, yeah, we got the Pixel 6, and that's what's on my mind. Um, and all I really care about, because we see when it was released, we see that the S22 dimensionally is bigger. So actually, no, that's not true. So I lied. It's the Pixel 6 is taller, but it's narrower. I really feel like even though I don't like this Galaxy too much, and I didn't really care for the Galaxy S22 Plus too much, dimensionally, I feel like Samsung got it right. The height to width ratio was on point. And if I didn't like if I didn't like the 6A, which I said for that height, I feel like it should have been a little wider. It looks like I might have the same feeling for the Pixel 6. Just looking at the dimensions right here, where if I kind of enjoyed the S22 Plus and I'm kind of enjoying the dimensions of the S22, the Pixel 6A and the Pixel 6 look like they tried to be too narrow for the width or not wide enough for their height. And they're not quite as narrow as Sony phones, so they didn't go that route. But yeah, they didn't go the same route as some of the other more notable brands. Um, Scrolling down, we got SIM card stuff, which for this situation I really don't care too much about. Displays, a little bit of refresh, a little bit of updating right there. 60 hertz for this Pixel 6, 120 for the S22. And I'll be honest, when I get the Pixel 6, I'll probably just turn that off and just leave it at 60 hertz because for me, uh, the fluidity of scrolling just isn't that important. So if I'm not watching content that I think requires a high refresh rate, I think I'll just turn it off. That way I can conserve some battery life. Um, oh, there you go. Red Robin fries. All right. Screen sizes in there. This is where it's like, okay, how is this going to feel in the hand? Because yeah, we got 6.6 inches for the S22, which yeah, for me, that was too much phone. We got this Pixel 6 with 6.4 inches, so it's smaller, but again, those dimensions are a little off, so I'll be curious to see exactly how I feel when it comes to this in the hand. And that is super important. Like I don't think a lot of people really care too much because so many people are just okay with getting the next big phone. Like, oh, I just want the cheap phone with the big screen because I do stuff on my phone. I do everything on my phone. And personally, I don't. I send some text messages. I watch some YouTube videos sometimes. And then maybe I'll look something up, something pretty quick. But if I need to be productive or if I need to do some actual research, I absolutely hate looking at the phone. Like the screen is too small, even with 6.6 inches or 6.7 for some of the bigger phones. It's like, no, if I need something that big, I'm just going to go to a computer. And I like the idea of touch versus a mouse and a keyboard. It's just so, I guess, linear or one dimensional compared to, oh, let me have two tabs up side by side, or being able to click here or zoom. Using a computer when I need to be productive is what I want. So when it comes to cell phones, I'm okay just having a smaller phone because one, it's more pocketable, uh, and it's easier to hold and operate with just one hand. So all I can say right now is, yeah, I'm just going to wait until later or sometime next week. Um, the Pixel 6 hopefully will be here. Android 13, as we know, has rolled out to the Google Pixel 6 and the other versions of the Pixel 6. Who knows when it's going to arrive on the Galaxy? Storage capacities, I paid for the 128, the S22 and the S22 Plus, both that I have/had were 128 gigabytes. Cameras on Pixels are going to be fine, so I'm not really worried about that. Stereo speakers are cool. Um, Communication, yeah, of course, Bluetooth 5.2, Wi-Fi 6E for both. Interestingly enough, with the S22 that I'm currently holding in my hand, not the Plus variant, it does not have Wi-Fi 6E. It just has Wi-Fi 6. Don't know why that was a differentiator between the two models, but it was. Not that I have a Wi-Fi 6E router, so it doesn't really matter. But I guess to kind of future-proof or make your phone future resilient, Wi-Fi 6E. Great job. USB Type C, of course, and then C, and that's not Samsung's fault or Google's fault, but it's the USB naming convention, the USB whatever they call themselves. I don't know what USB-C 3.1 means anymore or USB-C 3.2. I would have assumed that 3.1 was 5 gigabits and 3.2 was 10 gigabits, but they've changed the naming conventions. And of course, those naming conventions change, but the websites might not necessarily, or they did. So we have older information for the Pixel 6 when the naming convention was one thing, but new naming convention when the Galaxy S22s were released. So that naming, they might, all I'm trying to say is they might actually mean the same thing, but I don't know because I'd have to have something that's compatible or I guess a 10 gigabit port on a device. And I technically have stuff that would operate that fast, I think. But again, I don't even know. I know they're Thunderbolt compatible, but are they USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2? See, exactly. It's confusing. I don't know. But how much data am I going to be transferring to and from the phone? It's hard to say. And yeah, so either one, as long as it's USB 3 or faster, we're good to go. I think when I was looking at that Asus Zenfone 9, and oh man, I don't think I brought it up in that particular video, but I'm pretty sure it said USB 2, and that would be problematic if it was. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me get this out of the way. Let me come back over here. Sorry, this is just a little side note. So the storage is USF 3.1, but down here, okay, so it just says USB-C. So it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure at some point it did say USB 2. But back to what I was originally talking about. So that'll be fine. Fingerprint readers. So they both have under display fingerprint readers. And I've been using this Galaxy one, and it's really fast. I'll tell you that. It is really fast. I used the one on the 6A when I had that in my possession, and it was slower, accurate, but still slower. And we're talking, fractions of a second. But you do notice it, especially when what's being implemented is a deviation from the norm of a hardware fingerprint sensor. So I still have a Pixel 2, and that has a dedicated hardware button on the back of the phone for your fingerprint scanner, and that works. So what's the point of these under display things? Is it just new, something creative? Is it just to make the back so it's just one solid piece of glass or plastic? I don't know. But they're here, so we have to deal with them. Battery sizes, the battery in the Pixel 6 is a little bit bigger, so that's kind of cool. Fast charging, I just use my laptop charger usually to charge the stuff anyway, so I guess it looks like I'll be able to charge it a little faster. And different colors, benchmarks, and that's pretty much it. So I am comfortable with the purchase that I made, given that it was less, well, after tax, it was a little more than $300. But we're still talking at that point 50% off of MSRP when it was released, which was close to a year ago now. And the Pixel 7 is on the horizon, so I get why it's the cost that it is now. But I'm still excited about it. So when I actually get it, maybe I'll do like an actual video of it. I mean, I want to use it for a little while before I have any actual opinions on it. But just from looking at the specs and the price that I paid and the use cases that I'll probably have for it, I think it'll be okay. And I'm comfortable with the purchase.